Hey guys, and welcome back.
And if you're new here, thanks for joining us today.
Merry Christmas! It's Vlogmas Day 25 for you guys. I'm recording this the day before. For us, it is
Noche Buena.
It's Noche Buena. So this is when our family gets together and we cook a big meal and we just hang out together. Today's a unique day because we decided to go with a Grinch theme, but the Miami Dolphins are playing.
They're playing against the Dallas Cowboys today.
So we will be in two different gears, Dolphin and Grinch. I'll be changing my shirt around 4 o'clock when we start playing.
That's right.
So I'm going to check in with you guys as I cook, showing you different things that are traditional for us Cubans to have. And I'll be editing along throughout the day as well so that I can have this ready for you tomorrow. So yeah, thank you for coming along. Merry Christmas. Before I stick the pork in the oven, I'm sure you guys want to see what it looks like and how I did it. So let me go ahead and show you that really quick. So let's start with the basics. I poke holes throughout the pork and then I stuff the holes with diced onion and minced garlic. I score the skin and I lift it up and I smear the bottom of it. You'll see all the garlic and the onion in there as well. Once I'm done with the stuffing, then I go ahead and I season it, all the flesh, with some pink salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some sazon. After that, I basically flip it around so that the meat sides down, and I throw in about half a bottle of mojo. I left this marinating for 24 hours, and now it's going to go in the oven, low, 325, low and slow. It is 11 in the morning. Now that the pork is in the oven, I'm going to take a shower and get ready, and we're going to get to cooking the rest of the stuff together. It's 12:15, so the pork has been in the oven just a little bit over an hour. The next thing that takes the longest is yuca. I buy my yuca frozen. A lot of people buy the fresh one and then they have to pressure cook it because it's so hard. So I use the frozen. This is a 5 pounds bag, and my trick to make it soft is something I learned from my grandmother many years ago. So I'll show it to you guys as we get going. I filled up a large pot of water and I'm waiting for that to boil. Once it starts boiling is when I'm going to throw the yuca in it with a little pinch of salt. And I'll let that boil for a few minutes because obviously once I throw this frozen yuca in there, it's going to drop down the temperature. So I need the water to start boiling again. Once it starts boiling again, we're going to shock it by throwing in ice water. And usually by the temperature change of it being in boiling water to then having the shock of ice water, that helps the yuca open up, which would help it soften. So now we're just gonna hang around and wait for this pot to go ahead and start boiling so we can throw the yuca in it. And that's also gonna cook and boil for a couple hours. While that water is coming to a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and do some prep work. So on my yuca, I also put in a bunch of slivered caramelized onions and garlic sauce. I also leave a bunch of garlic sauce to the side because our niece absolutely loves it. So she drizzles it on pork, she drizzles it on everything, steak, anything you can think of. So for my garlic sauce, I'm gonna use 2 whole garlics and probably about a quarter of diced onion. So the rest of the onion, I'm just gonna go ahead and sliver it so that can be for the yuca. So let's go ahead and start the prep work for that. My pot still isn't boiling yet. That's a lot of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the diced onions inside the small pot. And that's where I'm going to basically make the garlic sauce, which is going to be crazy easy. You guys are going to be shocked. And now to remove the plastic from the garlic, remove the skin, give it a little smash just so that it's easier to take off the skin. And then I'm going to use my little mincer so I don't have to sit here chopping forever. And all of the garlic is going to go in with the onion. That's how much minced garlic I got out of 2 whole garlic cloves. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in with the pot, and let's move on to the next step. So I've got half a bottle of EVOO in here, and I am just going to pour it all inside with my 1/4 onion and my 2 garlics. And then I'm going to throw in some pink salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and that's it. Got some pink salt. I've got lots of garlic powder, so we're gonna be generous here. After all, it is a garlic sauce. And a little bit of onion powder. The onion powder and the onion is just to add a little sweetness to it. I'm gonna turn this on, but to start, I'm only putting it on a medium low. Let's stir, and I'll check in on it every so often, stirring it because we just do not want it to burn. We just want everything translucent, fragrant, and super flavorful. I threw in a few droplets of oil, generous amount of salt because since yuca is a root, it's gonna really suck it up. Let's go ahead and throw that baby in here. It's 2:06. The yuca, when it came to boil again, I lowered the heat to, what did I lower it? To like a medium. And it stopped boiling. It's basically simmering now. It's been going for about 1.5 hours and it's pretty tender. I stirred it. I'm going to let it go for about another hour, 1.5 hours. The garlic sauce is looking awesome. I already turned it off. I'll turn it on again before it's time to pour it over things. And the pork has been in since 11, so it's now, what, 3 hours? I haven't opened the oven. I'm not going to open the oven. I'm going to start prepping the stuff for the beans. So I'm actually making the beans 2 ways. I'm doing a small pot for my brother-in-law because he's vegetarian. And then I'm doing a large pot for the rest of us, Lou's sister, niece, Lou, and me. And that's going to have chorizo, beef chunks, bacon, onion, garlic, calabaza, pumpkin. Basically, the onion and garlic is actually inside of my sofrito, which I'll link above. I'm sure you guys have seen my sofrito recipe before. So it's tomato paste, garlic, onion, and bell pepper. So let's get to prepping for the beans. So half of this bacon that I chopped is going to go in with the yuca once it's time to serve, and the other half is going to stay with the black beans. We're going to cook it down until it's crispy, and I'm going to take it out of the pan. In the same bacon grease, I did get 6 of those big beef cubes, and I chopped it into little tiny dices, and I'm going to go ahead and cook it in that hot bacon grease. Now that that is seared, I'm going to go ahead and take them out and put them in with some of the bacon that I'm going to put in the beans as well. I've already separated the bacon I'm going to use for the yuca. Now it is time to open both of my packages of chorizo and slice them up so that we can cook them as well. You want to cook the chorizo until it becomes nice and toasty. We add calabaza, also known as pumpkin, to our black beans. It helps thicken it, and it makes it very flavorful, and I don't know, it's like a great thickening agent. So I'm gonna put about 3/4 of it into the big pot that's gonna have the meat in it, and then 1/4 into the smaller pot for Craig. So let me go ahead and dice it and get rid of the little hairs and seeds that are in the middle. I'm not ashamed to admit that I cheat and I use canned black beans. This saves me a lot of time from having to cook the beans for a really, really long time or having to pressure cook them if I buy them dry. I typically like to go with the no salt added just because I like to control my own flavorings. So these 4 are gonna go in the pot with the meat. And my sister-in-law actually had a big can of the Goya. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and give to my brother-in-law. So with this one, it's going to be 4 cans of the bean with the liquid and all, and then probably 2 cans of water. I'm going to play it by ear. And then here's the same, basically 1 big can of the black beans and then half of water. So let's get these open, thrown in, and then I'm going to throw in the calabaza as well. All right, here is my homemade sofrito. I actually made it a couple days ago, so it's nice and fresh. I'm gonna be very generous with this because this is tons of flavor. And again, this is where I'm gonna go ahead and link the reel up above for you guys, but I'm gonna put 2 heaping spoonfuls in the big pot, and then 1 heaping spoonful in the little pot. That's the end of it, basically. I'll go ahead and throw the rest of it over here. It is 3:15, so I went ahead and changed into the dolphin shirt, still wearing my Grinch pants, and the beans are going. The yuca is done. The caramelized onions for the yuca is done. The garlic sauce is done. So really the only thing left, I'm gonna go ahead and move those onions and the garlic sauce out of the way so that I can get the white rice going. And then a lot later on, closer to when we're ready to eat, I'm gonna go ahead and make some green plantains. So tostones, that's another thing that the garlic sauce is great on. So that'll be the very last thing. That pork is still going. I have not opened that oven yet. I'm really tempted to since it's been 4 hours now. So I don't want to mess with it. I want to leave the heat going. But I went ahead and started chopping some snacks, appetizers. I don't know. We grew up eating it as kids, Cubans. So if you know, you know. Let me show you what it is that I just chopped up. Have you guys heard of turrones? My local store only had 4 flavors, but there's a ton of different flavors. The most traditional ones are these two. The hijona, which is basically almond, like pureed, I guess. That's, which one? That's what this looks like. And then there's this one, Alicante, which is basically the same thing. It's almonds, but not pureed like nugget. It's nice and crunchy. And here it is here. And then 2 that I like that my sister-in-law's not a fan of, but they had it. And since I like it, I went ahead and got it. One is the egg yolk nugget, yema. And same thing, the egg yolk nugget, but toasted. So the outside is a little toasty. So here is the egg yolk nugget. And then there's the toasted one. And we love snacking on these. This will stay out, and I'm sure it'll be gone throughout the game. Lose game ready. I got into the groove and completely forgot to turn on the camera, but I went ahead and drained the yuca. I'm gonna go ahead and serve it here in just a second, but before I do that, I want to go ahead and start taking out the pumpkin and removing the skin, tossing the skin away, and then the flesh I am gonna just go ahead and mash with the fork and then throw it right back in. I did turn off the heat for now because it's already getting pretty thick, and shortly before it's time to serve, I'll turn it back on just so that everything warms up and blends in very well together. So here is my meaty black beans. It'll continue to thicken as that and it'll continue to thicken as the pumpkin sauce settles into it. And then here's the vegetarian one. Pardon the background noise. I have the dishwasher going. So if you've never eaten yuca before, this is the root. And the other day when I cooked for the girls and I shared malanga, it looks very similar. And I'll see if I can find a picture on the web so that I can post it here for you guys. It looks very similar. It's just not hairy like the malanga. It's just a rough skin on the outside, not smooth like a potato and not hairy like a malanga, just very rough. And these, once they open up, because it's a big cylinder, the inside, let's see, it's hot. So the inside has like root. And this part is not edible, which is why you want to cook it down until it opens up and the inside gets soft so that you can be able to pull this out. So I'm going to go through them all, take this out because I don't want to serve it with it in it, and then arrange them on the platter nice and pretty and cover it with the onions, the chorizo, and the caramelized onions. I said that right? Yes, the caramelized onions, the chorizo, the bacon. Put 4 cups of water to boil with a splash of oil and a pinch of salt. And now I'm putting in 2 cups of white rice into that boiling water. There's my second one. And once it starts boiling again, which will be like in a second, I'll go ahead and cover it and bring it down from a high to a low. And I'll tell Alexa to set a timer for 30 minutes.
Is our referee with some words of speech. Peyton header shot.
All right, it is time to start working on the plantains. I am going to score them, peel them, cut them in about half an inch more or less, and then I'm gonna fry them on each side. Take them out, mash them, and then fry them a second time until they're nice and crispy. The tostones, green plantains are done. 3 of them got me 9, and that's served with the garlic sauce. Alright, I had a lot of time since the last time I checked in with you guys. There's the rice. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a serving tray. I cleaned the stove. I cleaned the dishes that I've used, so minimizing. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the pork to see what it's looking like. I don't even know what time it is. Let me see. It's 5:15. That means it's been in there for 6 hours because I put it in at 11. And so let's take it out. Let's see what it looks like. Let's uncover it and turn up the heat so that the top, the skin can start getting crispy. I pulled it out. Now it basically just needs to crisp up because that fat is all gelatin, but it looks delicious. I was scooping out some of the sauce and I saw like a little piece of this and I thought that maybe it was the skin that was sticking out, so I grabbed it with a spoon and it turned out to be a bone. The bone just came right out. That's how tender it is. All right, I am gonna raise this to 375 and I'm gonna stick it back in uncovered and probably leave it in there for about 20 minutes. I just took the pork out of the oven. Look how beautiful that skin looks. Nice and crunchy. All right, let me take it out of here and put it in there so that we are ready to eat. I actually threw the pork back in because I wanted that skin to crisp up a little bit more. So while that's in there for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna work on a salad. So we've got some spring mix, we've got some tomato, we've got some cucumber, we've got baby carrots, we got avocado, and poppy seed dressing. Salad is done. Looking delicious. I'm gonna take it over there to take a picture of it. Put it here for now. And I just took the pork out. My sister-in-law was looking for a different serving tray so that we can put it on the table as well. And served. This thing like fell apart in 3 when I took it out. All right, let's go ahead and make this countertop presentable so that it is a self-serve. We might as well go ahead and close this now because last clip was probably nighttime and I know the footage isn't going to be good. We'll probably be buzzed from all the drinking. So if you enjoyed our meal, our traditions, spending Christmas Day with us, thank you. Please give us a big thumbs up. Comment down below what are some of your traditions.
We want to wish you and your family happy holidays with happiness and health for everyone. We'd like to thank you for hanging around with us. And as always, hit that subscribe button notification bell so you get notified every time you upload a video. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. Say bye, Lucy. Say bye.